You've probably been hearing a ton about Lovable and Base 44. I've been seeing them in ads and headlines. Everyone's talking about what they're able to build with these platforms, but which one's actually better? So in this video, I want to answer that question. I'm going to compare them head to head, set up some examples, see how they create different things. Let's get into some actual examples and just look at the platforms side by side. So to get started with either one, I have links in the description down below. You could also type in santralmedia.com/lovable or santralmedia.com/base44. And I do recommend trying them both out if you're following along in the video. And you can see for yourself which one's actually able to make a better version of the concept you have in mind. If you don't have a concept, you can just watch this video and follow along with my example. So when you go to both of those sites, you'll see they have a really similar landing page. Base 44 on the left here, Lovable on the right. They both just have a text box. You can add, whatever you want there. So travel itinerary app, landing page for a website, whatever it might be. So for an example in this video, I want to start off with kind of like a Calendly clone. Like I'm looking for something that's just like Calendly, but instead of kind of the awkward, like, hey, my time's more important than yours, just find some time on my calendar. I would rather have it like a mutual scheduler where you're able to say like, all right, what times are both free for us? Maybe you're going to suggest multiple times and let them pick one of those multiple times with the option to expand the calendar if they want to use it like that. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I think it's just kind of a cool idea. I think a lot of people don't like the way Calendly is set up, that weird dynamic there. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT and have it make a prompt for me just so I can give it extra context and get a pretty long prompt here. Even though that's completely not necessary, you can just enter your own prompt into Base 44 or Lovable and it does a pretty good job. So I'm just going to paste my prompt into both, hit enter on both of them, and I have to sign up for an account on both of them. No surprise there. I can log in with Google. I'm just going to do that. Now, a little pro tip here, make sure you copy your prompt before you hit enter because Base 44 is going to delete it. You're going to have to type it in again. All right, so here we are. Lovable is asking us to add team members. I'm not going to do that, so I'll say finish. And here it has my prompt. Before we hit enter, I'm going to go over to Base 44. And like I said, they delete your prompt when you create your account. So again, it was good that hopefully you copied that and you can paste it in again. But Base 44 does give us a little advantage here when we're getting started. So if I paste my prompt there, of course, you could just speak to it, which is really nice if you're trying to kind of brainstorm a bunch of ideas, say like, all right, I kind of want it like this, but you don't want to have to type everything out. We also have the ability to upload files, maybe logos, for example, on either one. So a little paperclip on Lovable, a little plus on Base 44. It's really cool that Base 44 lets you choose which AI model is going to be used to build your app, and you're going to get very different results with these. So you've got Claude 4.5, Gemini 3 Pro, that's a really new one. I'm totally going to choose that. And we've got Claude 4.5 down on the bottom. Base 44 used to have something that allowed you to choose the style. I'm going to make it full screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. There used to be something down here that let you choose the style. I don't see that anymore, so maybe they moved it. I honestly never really used it anyway. It was cool that it did exist. And one last thing before I hit enter on this one, if we scroll down, there are a ton of templates. So you could get started using any one of these and just build off of that. Or I really like to just kind of browse through these and brainstorm. And you can see we've got some that are like something for coding. We've got Study Buddy down here. We've got financial education. So that's going to be online courses, presumably. And there's a ton of other templates. Also, the recent apps, once you have your account, will be showing up right here. So let's put that on the one side. Back to Lovable. The only other thing that's mentioned here is that you can choose the theme. So you can search like what your color scheme is really going to be down here. There's a ton of ones to choose from. You can also create your own. That's kind of nice. So maybe for this one, I want it to be like a glacier, kind of bluish colors. And if we click on plus, we can add integrations now if you wanted to, but we can manage all the integrations later on either one of these. So I'm going to hit enter on both of them and see what the timing really looks like on this. Now, first thing you'll notice, by the way, is that they kind of set it up in a slightly different way. So Lovable full screen, you'll see it's going to just kind of tell you a little bit about Lovable. They walk you through some features on the right side, like they've got cloud, they've got the ability to publish, editing, stuff like that. They're showing you how to use it on the right side, while on the left side, it tells you what it's actually doing and how it's building things. We'll dig into the interface in a second, but let's go back and see how Base 44 is doing. Base 44, similar idea. They tell you on the right, like, hey, did you know you can connect to WhatsApp? You can do these different things. They don't show you it, but they're just telling you that. And then on the left side, it tells you what it's working on. So Lovable ran into an error. It's supposed to not really have as many errors anymore with the recent update for Lovable, but you still see every now and then this happens. And so I just had to copy and paste the prompt and just run it again. and it actually gave us a pretty solid output this time. So they both have very different outputs. And this is something that, I mean, it's AI. So if I ran, and I am going to run the same one through both of them again, you're going to see different outputs from both of them. But you can see right here, this one's called Mutual Scheduler. I think that's the name I wanted it to be. And I think it's kind of solid. Like, it just tells you like, all right, this is what you're going to send messages like. You can see how it works or start scheduling. So it's kind of more like a home page as you would expect from a software like this. So if I say see how it works, it shows me what somebody would receive. You can choose that, put their name in, and confirm the booking. Or you could say none of those work, view full calendar, and then it turns into like Calendly. So that's actually pretty cool. That's exactly what I was looking for. Let's go up here and go back to the home page. And we can also try start scheduling. So start scheduling is going to have you sign up, which is good. But okay, that's a pretty good output. And then let's check out the base 44 one. You can see this one definitely looks a bit different, just a totally different spin on what I was asking it to do. But you can see this is more of the dashboard style here. So we can see all the different pages. So if you're creating an event, it would look like this. If you are looking at what is already scheduled or maybe your availability, you can choose, what your hours are for where you work. Yeah, this is honestly pretty solid. This is what I want. They both did a really good job here. I can't really complain much.